You might have seen our next guest on the field of the Nebraska game. She performed every single Saturday at Memorial Stadium as a featured twirler.
And she's going to try to teach us. I cannot wait to see this.
See how good she really is.
But we're speaking about Aleah. You'll see her on national TV this fall at Miss America. Aleah Peters was crowned Miss Nebraska earlier this month.
And we are excited to introduce you to her today. Good morning, Aleah.
Hi.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Good morning.
Take us back to that moment when you were crowned Miss Nebraska. What was it like?
Oh boy, I just kept looking at Alyssa, the previous title holder, and over I said, this isn't real, this isn't happening. And she had to remind me, yes it is, yes it is.
Is that what she's saying right there?
Yeah,
It's
the
real.
entire time.
Yeah, well, she's so gracious. Isn't she wonderful?
Yes,
I mean,
she
I
is.
love that that she had the chance to crown you, and here you are just like hyperventilating. Is it tacky to ask, what do you get in addition to the flowers and the crown and the sash? Because it is a scholarship system.
So through the program, I've competed the last 3 years, and I have received $18,000 in scholarships. So that is really helping me out with education and paying for my entire college career. And then I also have the chance to compete for the title of Miss America in September.
Well, let's talk about that. What do you do to prepare for something like that on that type of stage?
Well, a lot of what I did to prepare for Miss Nebraska, it's consistently working out, consistently practicing my talent, staying up on current events and knowing really what's going on in the world, and then also sharing my platform with everybody in the community.
I love your platform. And just some inside baseball, so our viewers know, I was a judge when you were selected as Miss Omaha, and I was part of that panel. And one of the things that stood out to me about you were very genuine. And I kept thinking, no matter what stage you're on, you're going to represent us so well, because you know, you were just a real lady.
Oh, thank
but
you.
then when you were talking about your platform, it was personal and so relevant for so many families. Share your story about cyberbullying awareness, why it's important to you.
Yeah, so when I was a freshman in high school, I actually had a really hard time that first year. I thought that I kind of had it all figured out. I thought I was going into high school really confident in knowing what the social scene looked like, and I was wrong. There was a group of girls that really targeted me, and that was with anonymous phone calls or text messages, and it was pretty constant. It escalated to the point of a really bad situation at a baseball game. I was actually sitting in the first couple rows, and I heard names called, and then they started chanting a song, and at that point I texted my dad and I said, will you please come get me? And it felt like it took him an hour to get there. And then when he did get there, he asked me how the game was, and I looked at him and smiled and said it was good. And I didn't tell my dad or either of my parents for a few reasons. I was embarrassed that it was happening to me. I was embarrassed that I was a victim of bullying because I never really thought that I would be. I was a pretty confident freshman. Like I said, I love meeting people and I love the social scene, so it was embarrassing. And then I also didn't want my dad or my family to know the things that these girls were saying about me, or for them to think that they were true at all. So after I heard that for the last couple months, I started to question whether those things were true and whether those negative remarks actually applied to me.
But it's amazing. I have a 13-year-old, and this happens all the time. I hear some of the stories that she tells me about some of the stuff that's going on at school. So I think it's really important, the work that you're doing. And I guess, what do you want parents and teens to take home from some of the work that you're doing?
Well, one of the biggest things, especially for parents, is open lines of communication. One thing that I do when I go into schools is just ask for examples of bullying that they've seen online. And if you ask, it's incredible what students are willing to tell you. And I'm kind of in a great position because I'm not a teacher. And so we have an interesting dynamic to our relationship, the students that I usually talk with. But if you just open those lines of communication and ask what's going on and know who their friends are, know what they're doing online, and just all you can do is really have the knowledge of what their cyber scene looks like.
Okay, let's talk about twirling.
Okay.
Because we've covered the platform. Let's get to the talent.
Right, a stepperette, right? And
Yes.
I wanna walk over.
three-time world champion.
Yes.
Here, come on. Let's go do this thing.
Let's go.
All right. Let's do it.
You have twirled for how long?
Since I was about 5 years old.
Okay, so a little longer
But
than the two of us.
The twirling dynasty in Omaha is well documented.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yes.
You were a stepperette, you go to Lincoln, you're a star on the field. What can you teach us here, Aleah Peters?
Well, well start with the basics. Let's not get ahead
Oh,
of
please,
ourselves.
let's go to the advanced stuff. This stuff is easy.
I feel like I
Okay.
need to stand a little farther away.
Okay, so I'm going to actually have you
Step
point your
back,
thing
please.
to the big end if you want to do an advanced
Oh,
trick.
there is a difference.
There is.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is the big end. We're off to a great start.
Thanks, Aleah.
Okay.
Bob, what are you laughing at? Why don't you have Bob over here from Bank of the West come over here? to this?
Okay.
So we'll open our hand, and the way that I was taught is you open your hand so you can see the green M&M right there. Yep. And then just really simple, you'll do 1, 2, 3, rocket, catch. Perfect.
this is easy
Simple.
stuff.
Okay. So now we're going to make it a little more complicated, and this is just kind of a basic thing to know if you want to twirl. And it should look like that. Okay.
Can you do that
So-
Can you
again?
step forward just a touch? I just feel like that's wise.
Okay, so it will look like this, hopefully.
Can you do that one more time?
All right.
Okay, I got that.
All right, so what you're going to do is, again, open your hand and show me your green M&M. Perfect. And now this little guy is going to lay down for a nap and pop it off your wrist. Yeah, there you go. So then when you get it going fast, you just open and roll it off your thumb.
Big in on the left again?
Yep.
Okay.
I didn't quite get much air.
Yeah, there you go. Just pop it right up. And so that's kind of the basic. Whenever you see a baton twirler throw a baton
exhilarating.
really
That's-
high,
I sweated a lot.
that's what they're doing.
Okay, now let's see something fancy.
Something
I know you can't go too
fancy.
high. We have some lights in here and stuff, but
Okay,
what do you
well,
have?
I can show you this little wrist move. I mean, it's not super fancy,
I
but
feel
it's
like we're watching the Harlem Globetrotters.
bouncing on my wrist. Or
roll it
just
down the arms and across the shoulder.
some basic twirls.
And this is what you'll perform at Miss America.
Something like this,
Yeah.
yes. Just a little bit
So-
more.
A little more
But
exciting.
you're a
room.
three-time world champion. What do you have to do to, we can see the information, the September 6th, 7th, and 8th. What do you have to do to continue practicing? Are you going to work some new routines in, or are you just perfecting what you've already gotten done?
I am actually creating a new routine with some of the girls at Steperettes. I'm going to go back to the studio and come up with something new, hopefully, something exciting. I really enjoy choreographing and making up new things. So whatever
You're
keeps the
Well, good
fabulous,
luck.
Aaliyah.
Yeah, we
Thank
really
you.
enjoyed
Cannot
getting to know
wait to see you on
Thank
stage in
you.
September, and let us know, okay, what we can do to support you along the way.
Thank you
Yes,
so
good
much.
luck.
I
Good luck.
appreciate it.
So next.